So that whole time, I guess I wasn't talking. Sorry. Anyway, fuck. I'll pick up where I left off. So anyway, whoever's list this is, let's go find out. You guys saw I was pointing to the Auto Blaster. I think a lot of people would argue the Auto Blaster is the worst. Maybe it's not the worst in the game. So that's Kelvin Squad. So this is Peanut running this. It's not the worst upgrade in the game, but I would say it's one of the 5 or 6 worst. The only person it's even somewhat good with is 10 Num. Everyone else, it completely sucks. Because why would you pay 5 points for it when it's 2 points more to get Heavy Laser Cannon? In Heavy Laser Cannon, you don't get any crits, but with this, your crits can be cancelled first, so it's kind of like you aren't really going to get any crits anyway. And it's only 2 points more for the Heavy Laser Cannon. You get to fire 4 dice, whether you're at range 1, 2, or 3. And at range 3, it's 4 dice, and they don't get an advantage. Whereas Auto Blaster, you can only use it at range 1. It's such a pile of shit. I can't believe. I would way rather see, even like Opportunist, which without Wes Jansen, you don't, like it says, Opportunist, you don't have many opportunities to use it unless you're going against Wes Jansen. But Kian is like, you've got to put something on him that induces stress, like either Push the Limit or Opportunist. He's just not as good without it. He's an awesome pilot, but yeah, I do not like that loadout at all. And then Pharrell with the swarm tactics. Ugh. And I'm not really a fan of the Vet Instincts either. I mean, it puts him at a 9, but when you're at 9, you're always thinking about Whisper and Soontir. And most guys that run Whisper and Soontir are going to play at 98 and 99, so they get initiative. So, like, Pharrell's awesome. He's one of my favorite pilots in the game, but I think Push the Limit is where it's at with him. As with most A-Wings. Protos with Chardan, that's cool. Everyone loves the little Protos. Advanced Sensors. Advanced Sensors I like. They're always good on B-Wings. And then Pharrell with the Proton. And the Test Pilot. And the Vet. And the Swarm. And the Swarm, it's like, you usually don't fly A-Wings in formation, because their bread and butter is just, like, fanning out. But it looks like he's gonna, there's no way he's gonna fly us in formation. Like, who the hell would fly a B-Wing with an A-Wing? That's freaking retarded. I'm being overly critical, I apologize, but I feel like my brother was telling me after I was super critical of some moves some guys made last night, that maybe I should not be such a dick to people, but I feel like this tournament, it's not called the TC Learn How to Play X-Wing Tournament. It's the Team Covenant Open Tournament. You only go on Team Covenant if you if you're just a casual X-Wing player. You're not going to go to some website that just talks about X-Wing, because you're just a casual player who's just going to play in his spare time. So I think this tournament is more for intermediate to advanced players, and really, it's not hard to build a pretty good squad. Any dumbass can copy a squad and build a good one. So when I see one that I think kind of sucks, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out on it, because I mean, everyone wants to be unique and come up with their own idea, but I just don't see the synergy in this at all. It's like, you want to run Pharrell out on his own and be sort of a lone wolf type, your flanker, and I think this list is going to get wrecked. He's going against 2 360 turrets. Granted, Horton's only at range 2 to 3, or 1 to 2, but that HLC is going to wreck some face, I think. Pina's going to be in for a long day, I think. Then again, you know, I was talking about last night too, and I think one of the best ways to stop this dash is to just action deny him. And if you can do that pretty well with the Proto, he's got a chance. They're fast enough to be able to keep up with Dash and try to just get in his way. But you've only got 4 ships. It's a lot to spend to just action deny him and not even shoot. So, but at the same time is like, because when you get Dash going, you're basically getting 3 actions a la Sunter Fell, because once you clear that stress, you get a focus, and then you've got 3 more actions to do. You can boost, barrel roll, target lock, or you could double focus too. So, if Horton gets off a good Alpha Strike, if he's not able to dodge, which I don't think Pino will, I think Horton can at least get a shot on Kian. He's going to be in some trouble. Those proton torpedoes are such a great combo with him. He has to spend his lock though, so what you hope for is you get your standard. Okay, when you roll 4 attack dice, on average what you're going to get is 2 hits, a focus, and a blank. So that's what you hope you roll. You re-roll the 1 blank, and then you got a 50% chance of getting another hit, and then you get 3 hits and a crit. So that's what you're hoping for when you run Horton with the protons. And then 2 of them is a bit of a gamble. Like if I'm Pina, I'm going for him right off the bat, because I don't want those ions to slow down my like Horton. If he sets up right, he can just take Kian out of the game, really, if he gets him just like walking the dog with that ion turret. It's so fun to do that when you can. You can even do it to an interceptor too, even though that interceptor can like boost and try to get away. I think I would go right for Horton. If he gets off 1 missile, that's fine, but then I'm going to rush you and get you at range 2 for our initial shot. Try to kill you on the outset. And then, although he doesn't, I mean, yeah, rush him with Jake, get off your protons, and try to finish him off with everyone else, I would say, is your goal. Don't let him stay alive, because he's pretty maneuverable too with that engine upgrade. He doesn't have a droid. And then you have Dash to deal with, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to take down Dash. Maybe he'd just rush Dash and then take his chances trying to finish off Horton one-on-one. I mean, if it comes down to Kian and Horton, or Jake and Horton, both them dudes could have a good chance to just stay outside at range 3 of him, to get on his tail and just shoot away at him from behind. Turn. There we go. So, kind of got the asteroids jammed in. And again, I think when you're playing Dash, you want to spread him out. Because he benefits from having them in close proximity, because he's just going to fly through them like nothing. Especially when he can push the limit and just bounce over them. I think when you're flying against Dash, you've got to just keep him wide. Because the close tight, it only benefits him. And even though your A-Wings are hella maneuverable, they can slice through them pretty easily too. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But that's my opinion on the matter. Whoever's watching, if you're not AFK, always let me know what you're thinking. You can have a little back and forth discussion if you want. And those vet instincts are going to pay off big here, because he's going to get to move last, which is always a big advantage when you've got a maneuverable ship like Jake. Kind of interested to see what Kelvin's other squad was. Oh. 98 points with that. Interesting. So really, kind of the same thing, basically. It's just, instead of Horton, a decked out Horton, he's just got some little filler ships. And he's got the exact same loadout here. It's just he's running Levo instead of Dash. Kind of surprised he would just leave himself at 98 points, though. Like, why wouldn't you just upgrade the Bandit to a Tala or something? You could have even... Oh, no, never mind. You could do that. Okay, what's Peanut? What was Peanut's other one? He went 1. He also had Dash. See, like, why in God's name would you put anti-pursuant lasers on him? The intelligence agent I kind of like. That's actually kind of interesting. Although I still think Katarn's better. The Lone Wolf's fine. I like this squad a lot more than the second one. I just think Auto Blaster's a complete pile of shit. It's alright on 10 nub, but anyone else, it completely sucks. Fuck that 4, is this? If you guys aren't AFK, if you have any comments you want to make, add to the discussion, go for it. Let me know how shitty you think Auto Blaster is. And he's lining up... Yeah. Most guys will not put their ships that close together, because if you bank, they're gonna bump. And Dash is gonna set up right there, because he wants to make those A-Wings try to fly through those asteroids. And it won't be easy for them, even as maneuverable as they are. Anyone who's new doesn't know what the Auto Blaster is. I kind of explained it, but... So it's 5 points. Attack, 1 ship. So your hits can't be cancelled by defense dice. You're like, okay, that's cool, but then it's... Your defender may cancel crits before normal. So... They can be cancelled by defense dice, but they can be cancelled by evade tokens. So there is that. And then it's like, you're having your crits cancelled, so it's sort of like the heavy laser cannon, because the heavy laser cannon is, you don't get to roll any crits unless you re-roll one. But it's 2 less, and you can only use it at range 1, and it's a 3. And the heavy laser cannon is a 4. So, like I said, it's okay on 10 num because one of your crits can't be cancelled by defense dice. So basically, if you attack with the Auto Blaster with 10 num, none of your hits can be cancelled by defense dice. They can still be cancelled by tokens, evade tokens, but not defense dice. So that's pretty good, dependent upon the matchup. But again, 10 num himself is 31 points. For Auto Blast, 36 for an 8-skill B-Wing whose hits at range 1 can't be cancelled. But at the same time, you only get to roll 1 at range 1. So you don't get your extra bonus dice at range 1. So it's such a piece of shit. Like, I know they couldn't really ever do this, but I wish they'd just come out with a ruling and say, like, the Auto Blaster only costs freaking 3 points. I don't even think even then hardly anyone would ever run it. But that's what I would do to try to beef it up and make it more viable. You just never see the fucking thing because it's so bad. Can you imagine? I was talking earlier about on my last cast how I'm kind of surprised that no one's put the Ion on that Outrider loadout. Can you imagine someone putting a motherfucking Auto Blaster on that piece of shit and not only being able to shoot at range 1? Oh my god. That would be the biggest waste of points you could ever do. If you were playing against a guy and you had to and you got to design his squad and he got to design yours, that's what I'd do. I'd go Hawk 290 with no turret, and then Dash Rendar with Outrider and an Auto Blaster. It's pretty shitty, right there with Winged Gundark. Yeah, Winged Gundark can suck my dick too. I feel like I see Auto Blaster more than Winged, though, because it is okay with 10 num. It's okay with him, but like I said, dependent upon the matchup. But yeah, I seriously don't think I've ever seen Winged Gundark, how the hell you pronounce that, in a Gundark? I don't think I've ever seen him in a Vassal game before. 15 points to change a hit to a crit. He said pilot skill 5. Doesn't even have an elite pilot talent. When for 2 points more, you can get a boost of 2 skill to Mauler, an extra dice, and then an elite pilot talent. Some of those wave 1 things, there's just like... Seems like they just kited them because they didn't want to playtest them anymore to see if they were going to be viable. So they just made sure they weren't too overpowered and just left it as is. Yeah. So he's going to try to fly him in formation to give Jake the boost, his swarm. But, you know, Jake, he's not meant to fly in a formation with his ability. He's meant to be a flanker. And especially with those proton rockets, you've got these guys in front. It's going to make it even harder for him to get a range 1 shot off. And I mean, if Horton turns to him, Dash gets an HLC. And then, well, I guess Jake will shoot first since he's got Vet, but he might not even get those proton rockets off, which would just be brutal. And it's going to be hard to stay in that formation, flying through those asteroids. And they're so tightly packed. I think you're going to see some bumping. A lot of those playtests might not know the game's going to shake out, or you can definitely tell, yeah. Taking his time. Motherfucking auto blaster. But you know, nah. I was gonna say, anyone who watched my stream last night, replay's up if you didn't. It was a really interesting last game. Came down to one Alpha Interceptor with Push the Limit against an Outer Rim, or the Outer Space Fringer with a heavy laser cannon, Recon Specialist, Outrider, and that was it. So no engine upgrade, no Push the Limit. Well, I don't think you can't have Push the Limit, but no engine upgrade. And the Interceptor was down to 1 health, and he was able to close the distance to range 1 on the Fringer. And the Fringer was at like 6 health, 5 hull, 1 shield at the time he did. And the Interceptor just kept pace with him and finished him off. And the Fringer didn't even get one more shot off the rest of the game. And I think that's your best hope here if you're Peanut. But the only thing is it's not the outer Fringer, outer space Fringer with like Dash is a lot different. Dash can barrel roll, boost through asteroids. He's a lot harder to keep pace with. So I was gonna say you could potentially get that proto, because you gotta think that Dash is gonna go for Jake first. I mean, if Jake's still alive at the end, then hell yeah, but I think one of these protos is probably gonna be the last one to die. But even one of them is going to have a hard time keeping on Dash's tail. Because with those asteroids and then barrel roll boost, it's so hard to keep up on him. Even if you had Jake, it'd still be a struggle. So it goes left. So probably not gonna be able to finish this one, boys. I gotta go in half an hour, and it looks like they're gonna drag this out, or at least Pina is. He's gonna go left. And he's definitely new to Vassal. We've already got a bump. I think this is gonna be a quick game. I think Kelvin's got some experience. I don't really think Pina does. And you know, his A-Wings are gonna try to come around like this, it looks like, but Dash will just cut right through here and just blast away at you and make you have to come into him. Like, I think Dash you're gonna see him come like this, and then if these A-Wings turn about here, and he's just gonna fly back this way and just make him go through that whole clusterfuck. Yeah. Everyone who had those hard round 1 matchups saying, why the hell can I play a guy like this in my first game? This is going to be brutal. PB Poncho. That's Matt Holland, ain't it? Well, how many more games we got left to play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or Veldon and Poncho paid, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Or Corrin played, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. But they're playing too, so 16. So we got a little over a quarter of them left. I think should at least be able to get down to 10 by Wednesday, I think. I'm surprised Dash wouldn't boost right there. He could have boosted right, then just blasted forward 4, and potentially had a shot, because then you know these, because if boost right, end up right about here, go forward 4, front end's right about here, might have a shot next turn. And you can just, if they come at hard at you can just turn it, oh, he's going to barrel roll. God. And you're already in a bad way if you're Pina. Because what do you do here? Do you go far out wide with these guys? But then what would you do with your B-Wing? Dash would catch you. He's probably going to catch him next turn if the B-Wing, even if he does like a 2 right bank, his fastest bank move, or maybe a 3 forward would get him away, but with that, 2400's got a pretty good dial. He could just 3 right bank, barrel boost or boost barrel, probably have a shot on that B-Wing from behind. Or you can K-turn. You could just K-turn, but another 2 left. Well, at least he doesn't bump that time, but I have to wonder what he's thinking. I can do a free boost. Yes. Yes, you can. Oh, come on. What's going on here? God. Thank you. Boost away. Yeah. Go for it, dude. Uh. I was like, I don't want to. Oh, never mind. Alright. Good turn, good turn. It's like they're just running away from the monster. And the B-Wing's the fat kid, and they're just leaving him behind. He's gonna get picked off first. And I think if they just run, they'll all be safe. But no one escapes from Dash. Not with the HLC. I was, sorry. I'm just being super critical of Pina. I mean, you can't barrel roll, dude. You're stressed. Are you colorblind? Look, it's red. God. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick to the newer players, but it's like, is this really your first game, like, ever? Like, how many games have you played on Vassal 2? Why would you not, like, try to at least play a couple before you... And you're not paying anything to play in this tournament, but... God, just the... Not only inexperience of Vassal, but the inexperience overall that some of these guys have shown. It's like their friend just told them to play in this tournament, and they're like, yeah, sure. Which I guess is fine, but... God, just... And Dash, only going to do one right bank. Kind of surprised at that. I think he might have been a little bit worried that Pino was going to K-turn. And really, I think he's probably going to get a shot here anyway. He's probably going to boost off that Roid and then probably lock at A-Wing, I'd imagine. Yeah, I think he's got a shot. It's going to be through that debris field, but still. That A-Wing's got no modifiers. And if he locks him... Yeah. So this is going to be a 4-on-4. Unmodified here. Focused lock here. So if he gets 4 hits, and Proto only gets 1 evade, which would be unlucky for Pina, but it could very well happen. It's going to be a one-shot on the Proto. I mean, everyone wondering like where all these 100-0 wins coming from. Here's where they're coming from, guys. It's the games like these. Ugh. And like turning away from Dash with that Outrider HLC is just, that's like the worst thing you can do. You gotta meet him head on and then try to make him bump you so we can't activate that double action and then run away from you. That's like your only hope against him, really, unless you've got like super maneuverable ships that can just like turn about face and keep up with him. But this is, yeah. Now just a 3-right turn. God. Kelvin either doesn't notice or doesn't even care. Just gonna let it go. He's trying to hurry this along, so. Wait! No, he's right. He gets to go. He gets to do an action. Don't know what he could possibly do. I guess you could try to boost right, maybe get a shot on Dash. No, he's just gonna boost forward. Alright. That was useful. That will definitely change the game. It's like he's just boosting just because he can. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. He's just doing it because it's cool. Ah, buddy. So he doesn't one-shot the Proto, unfortunately. Let's just see this dragged out a little bit longer. But, you know, if Peanut had a couple different upgrades, or different ships, this would have been the kind of matchup he would have hoped for. Like, I would have ditched the Swarm and Vet and push the limit on there. And then I actually probably would have ditched the Stealth for like outmaneuver. And then on Kian, either ditch the Auto Blaster, put on, you know, you could ditch the Auto Blaster for push the limit. And that'd leave you with 2 points to throw somewhere else. I don't know what else he'd do with that, but something along those lines would have been a pretty good matchup. Those prototype pilots are like, you kind of hate to see those with Dash, I think. Not that I've ever played him, but because it is hard to one-shot them. Even with, if they would have had a focus for, say, even if you're getting 4 hits, it's hard to one-shot an A-Wing. So it would have been a decent matchup if he had put, like, Opportunist or, you know, mix that up somehow. just can those. Yeah, they're okay, but I would have just that. Eh. And boom. That's what I would have ran. Farlander might get... It would have been hard on him. He would have got targeted. But you can just rush those protos in right at dash. And not only get him in close, so that they're shooting at him like range 1 or 2. And do the same with Jake. I mean, that's a good deal of firepower right there. If you can get Jake getting his outmaneuver going. And some good dodge too. And if you get... I mean, one of the protos, if you can't avoid Horton's arc, one of them might get killed before he could shoot. But then you're coming back with some pretty good firepower too. Key in shooting... of course, I think most people like... Maybe I would switch that up and go... I love advanced sensors on B-Wings, but I could go with that. And that way... I mean, it's tough to throw an opportunist on someone like that. Especially when he's shooting like so early. But you could have Jake shoot before him. And then, at the very least... Like, you'd make Horton have to focus, so he wouldn't be able to get those protons off, which would be huge. And then you'd kind of make Dash have to save his focus for defense, too, which would also be beneficial. So that would be... I mean, you'd have Kean shooting motherfucking 5 dice, load up his fire control system. If he can survive, he'd be, of course, he'd probably get targeted up the ass with 42 points on him, but you can kind of supplant that by getting those protos and rushing them in. And getting them in close and just holding Kean back. But that's what I would have ran. But anyway, so I gotta go to work. It looks like a couple of you guys are still watching, so I'll leave this up. Let me zoom it out here. I don't know if you guys want that. I'll leave it there, I guess. Is that good? Alright.